Hey guys, and welcome back to the Life in Our 20s podcast. Um, in the last episode, you probably heard me get a little emotional about the current state of, you know, work culture and work life balance and my mental health and the ideas that I have of, giving up your life basically, hours of your life to pay for basic necessities and stuff. And I feel like no one should have to give up hours of their life because when you take into account, for example, a person that works 9 to 5 and you calculate how much of their life is taken up by work, it's years. By the time you get to 65, you've lost decades of your life to work, decades that you could have been doing something else. And if you take into consideration the fact that we sleep away a good portion of our life as well, you're not really left with a lot of time in the world to do the things that you enjoy and do the things that you love. And we're expected to enjoy those things once we retire. But the truth is that at that age, you at that age you don't really have much time left, and a lot of the best years of your life have already vanished. This goes especially this goes specifically to the people that have families, because if you're working to provide for your family and all you do is work, 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 you don't get to see them grow up. And once you get older, your family is going to have their own family, and you might not have that much time to spend with them because now they're busy working and working and working. And that's why I feel like it's important to have a good work life balance and be able to kind of be a boss of your own time. And that's why I like to see all these people that kind of work for themselves and they have their own businesses and stuff, because a lot of times they can set their own hours, and if they need extra time with their family they can do that, and if they need to take a vacation they can do that, and they could plan around it a little bit better. They could take time off when they want to or when they need to, and that's not something that you can do very much with a regular job, because you need to, collect hours and stuff, and you might use them now, but you might need them more desperately in the future, and you might not have enough. But that's it's just a part of life, I guess. And before I start going on a tangent, that's basically what I talked about in the last episode, and how I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that's going on with work culture, and how I don't see myself falling under that umbrella and, working till I'm 65 and not being able to do the things that I love. So I'm in a position where I think I can make this work, and I've done a lot of thinking, and this is the plan that I have right now. And I was going to share it with you all and ask you guys what you think of it, because I just don't know what to do anymore, and I just want to make sure that I can do the things that I love, do the things that I want to do, while still being able to provide for myself, at least in some capacity. And so here's my plan. So I know that I still live with my parents, and to be honest, I'm going to take advantage of that for as long as I can to build up some savings and to be able to have some flexibility with the things that I want to do, because I know that if I had to get my own place and pay my own bills and rent and insurance and all this stuff, then yeah, it would make it tough for me to not work full time. I would have to work full time and give up a lot of my time until I can gather up enough savings to, not worry about money and take some time off. Maybe look around for other jobs and stuff. But the fact that I live with my parents gives me a little bit more flexibility. And I used to think that I just really wanted to move out so I could have my own private space and stuff. And sometimes I still do believe that. But I think that I'm missing something bigger here, something like, the bigger picture. And that is that once I move out, I will most likely not spend much time with my family. And that is something that I don't think I can give up yet. And I still want to be there with my family and be there for them and enjoy time together. And this also gives me some flexibility when it comes to work. So I recently started working, and it's a warehouse job, and you know, it's only 4 to 5 hours a day. It's not bad, but I have a much deeper respect now for people that do those types of jobs. And my uncle does two warehouse type jobs, and he works every single day of the week. And I don't know how he does it. I know that he does it because he has to, or he feels like he has to. But seeing how it eats away at him, it kind of hurts because we grew up together for a decent portion of our life until he had to move away. And I feel like his childhood specifically could have been better. And I thought that when he came back to live with us, that we would be able to relive parts of that childhood, and that we would be able to reminisce on the past. And we have been able to do that to a certain degree, but he has his own issues, and he's trying really hard, and I'm really proud of him and what he's doing. But I don't think I have the capacity to do what he's doing. And I'm just not as strong as people think that I am, and I'm not as strong as the people around me. And I am going to try to find a way to get around that. And my uncle is absolutely insane. Like, I don't know how he does this stuff. And I mean that like in a good way. He has a lot of drive, and he's very stubborn, and if he wants something, he's going to get it. He's a really, really hard worker. And I know that he's been attempting to kind of do this side business and grow it up. And, I hope that at some point he can make that his full time job and, set his own hours. And all he would do is, like, make sales and stuff. And essentially live off of, doing something that he enjoys more than his current role. And I'm just going off of what I see. I haven't really talked much to him about this, but I feel like he is striving to achieve the same thing that I'm trying to achieve, and like kind of become your own boss and set your own hours, and like, be able to enjoy life because we're still young, you know? And I feel like he's the closest one in all of our family to do that. And I'm kind of going to use him as an example and as a template to try to achieve the things that I want to achieve. And I know that it's going to be hard and that I need to sacrifice a lot. And I don't know if I can do it because I've always had this feeling of never being enough or not being good enough. And I see how much he puts in, all the work that he puts in, and I don't know if I could do that because I already did a lot of that in school, and I sacrificed a lot of my social life and a lot of my time to get my degree and do all these things. And now I feel like I'm doing it over again when I thought I would have a break to breathe and relax a little bit. And I did have a slight break, but I felt like it would be a little bit longer and that it would allow me to regroup my thoughts, and I just feel more lost. But that's that's besides the point. My current plan is to try to make money on my own, on the side. So I do have that job, and it doesn't pay much, but it can help me out a little bit, and I can definitely save a lot of that money since I live at home with my parents. And they don't really charge me rent, and even if they did, I feel like I'd still be able to make that money stretch because I don't have as many expenses as them, as my parents, because they have children and they have all these insurances to pay and bills, like, all this stuff, the mortgage, car payments. And I don't have much debt. I don't have any at all, actually. And I don't have many things that I do want to buy. There are a lot of things that I wish I could buy, but when I think about it, I probably would never use them. So I feel like I don't spend too much compared to other people, and I can make my money stretch. So I think that if I take advantage of the fact that I'm living here at home with my parents, I can make my money stretch out a little bit further and save it and use it to fund some of my hobbies and stuff, and try to make those my job, and try to make it so that I actually enjoy working, and so I could enjoy the things that I do, so that I feel like I have a purpose. Because working for somebody else, if you don't agree with their values and what they're doing, or if you just don't like the job at all, you're going to be miserable. And I don't want that for myself. And I just want to be happy, like anybody else in the world. And some people can be happy doing that, but I don't know if I can. And I just want to be my own person and regulate and control my own things. And so my plan is to work at this job for just a bit until I find a better paying job. And once I find that better paying job, I will only work that for maybe max a year, depending on what I'm going to be doing and whether or not I enjoy that job. But while I'm doing this, on my free time, I am going to be spending as much time as I can with my family while also trying to build up my own business and or side hustles, I guess you could say. And if I can't find a good paying job, I'm just going to resort to working a part-time job or doing stuff like DoorDash and Uber Eats. And I know a lot of people say that it's not worth it because of the miles that you get on your car and stuff, but my car already has almost 190,000 miles, and I'll just use it till it dies, honestly. And then it'll most likely be the engine that dies first, and then I could just replace it. I know that it's going to be pretty pricey, but that's just an expense, I guess. And the thing with like the Uber Eats and DoorDash is you could set your own hours and stuff. And I feel like that would be very useful with my schedule to be able to make it super flexible. But the pay would be pretty bad. And it's the same thing. It's you're working for somebody else still, and they decide what they're going to pay you. They decide not to pay you as much and have the people that are ordering pay you through tips, and that's what sucks about it. But in turn you get some flexibility. But anyway, I want to chase my dreams, and I've sat and thought for a long time, and I know what my dreams are, and I know what would make me happy, and I've shared it before on the podcast, and I just now realized that it's something that I would be happy to do for the rest of my life. And that is doing some sort of photography or content creation and writing. And I think I've always known this from a very young age, that I wanted to be a very creative person. And I feel like I was a very creative person, and life just kind of beat that out of me and kind of made me this like just drone following what people told me to do. And I lost a lot of my creativity. But recently, I have been wanting to recreate ideas and moments from my past, and I feel this newfound like creativity inside of me, but I just don't know how to make it useful or how to display it, how to actually do it, because it's been so long. And I guess what I'm saying is I just want to do the things that I love and be able to do that as a job. And that would be the photography or writing. And content creation is the least likely, and that's why I don't have it up there, because I know that it's something that you just have to get really lucky with, and it just sounds very like cliche that somebody like my age wants to be a content creator or something. And I guess I'm already doing that with this podcast, but it would be nice to get paid for it or something. But I don't know if that's something that I can achieve. But writing and photography is those things are things that I believe I can make my full-time job, something that I can, you know, get paid for if I get good enough at it. I've always enjoyed writing, and I would always write these short stories and stuff, and I've lost a lot of them to time. I've misplaced them, this and that. But I've always loved reading, and I've always loved creating scenarios in my head. And it comes to me very easily, and I can imagine these things. And recently, I haven't been able to imagine them as vividly, like, as I did in the past. But it's still something that I feel like if I practiced a little bit, I could get really, really good at, because I have all these stories that I have in my head, and they've been in my head for a long time. I'm talking since middle school, since elementary school. The most vivid ones are from high school because they're most recent, but I have all these ideas and stories that I want to share, that I want to write, but I just can't get myself to write them because I'm scared that I'll just disappoint myself, that people won't connect with it. But I'm sick and tired of doubting myself, and I'm just gonna go for it, and I'm going to take advantage of the free time and all the spare time that I have. Maybe I'll even live off of savings at some point for a little bit, and I'm just gonna go as hard as I can and write as much as I can and take as many pictures as I can and practice and practice and practice and make it something that I could be proud of. Like, I have a couple of pages done for one of the books that I said I was going to write. And it's not the best writing ever, but I'm proud of the fact that I have stuff done and that it's like, getting somewhere. It's very minimal. I barely have anything done, but I'm glad to be writing at least. And for photography, I'm even more proud because I have this wall in my room that has this little like little LED lights like on a string, and it has these clips, and the best pictures that I've taken, I just clip them up there. And recently, when I've been waking up to go to work at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, I stop and I look at those pictures, and it just brings back memories of hanging out with my friends in the middle of the night, like, or like on a hike in a park, just me taking those pictures and us talking. And I'm glad to have those memories, and I'm glad to be able to create those memories while also practicing something that I enjoy. And I think that's what really got me started on this whole, like, it got me on this track that I'm at now, this track of like thinking of making my hobbies like an actual job. And I feel like the photography is something that is viable. I think I can do that. I'm really proud of some of the pictures that I've taken, and it's hard to say that I'm proud of myself. Even when I graduated from college, I could say that I'm proud of myself, but deep down I know that I could have given more, because I see all these people that graduated from my school, and I see like their LinkedIn pages and all the internships and all the jobs that they had and how they balanced everything, and I feel like I'm nothing compared to them. But whenever I look at some of the pictures that I've taken and I compare it to, pictures that other people take online, professional photographers, it doesn't compare like at all. I'm still an amateur, but it is something that I can be really proud of because I know that I give it my all and I try really hard, and whenever I have free time, I I actually watch videos and like study how to get certain shots, how I should position the camera, how I should frame things, and what sort of aperture to use so I get sharp images, what type of, like, how high I should set the ISO, um, and like all these different exposure settings and stuff. For nighttime photography, how long should I let the exposure go on for? And I think the most important picture that I've taken has to be this picture of a couple of trees in the park in the middle of the night, because it was a long exposure, and that's how I found out that I really like night photography. And my camera's not the best for night photography, but I still make it work. I do the best that I can. And when I saw the results that I got after only practicing for a little bit, it just blew my mind. And it's something that I wish I could pursue further. And I'm going to make the hardest effort, the largest effort to try to make this something that I can make a full-time job, or even just do part-time on the side. And the great thing is that I know somebody who is already in that field of photography. Maybe not like, in the same category of photography of like, like I would prefer to do street photography and like landscape, but I could also learn how to do portraits and stuff because those do pay very well. And I know somebody that is in that realm of photography, and I have been just scared of reaching out because I feel so intimidated. But I promised myself that I was going to reach out to them, and I am going to. And I'm saying that here so that people can hold me accountable. Mainly my friends that listen to this podcast. And I'm hoping that I can learn a couple things from him and, kind of learn how to run things, because the photography is one of the best things that has happened to me, because you can capture a moment and keep it forever. And there's so much freedom with it. You take pictures of whatever you want, and you can, manipulate things with just your camera to get the shot that you want, make it look the way that you want, make it look as close to what you saw with your own eyes, and share that with people. And I have gotten some compliments for my pictures, and it's one of the most gratifying feelings that I've ever had in a long time. And I don't know, I guess I just want to give it a shot, at least give it a try and see where it goes. And if it doesn't work, then I guess it just wasn't for me, you know? But I won't know unless I try. And I want to try because it's something that I can't explain. It just makes me feel a certain way. And if somebody were to, let's say, just take my camera right now, I think I would cry. Like, I would honestly cry because it's a hobby that I just really enjoy. And I've been getting my little brother into it as well. And one of the, I'm getting emotional again, so forgive me, but one of the best memories that I had recently was when I combined I combined my hobby and my little brother's hobby, my youngest brother. And he really likes he really likes so he really likes Pokemon, right? He likes little Pokemon and stuff. And he has these little figures. And he would see these videos online of of people putting them in like little scenes essentially out in the wild. And I couldn't really drive him out anywhere because, you know, I didn't really have money for gas and stuff. But we still went around the yard and created these little scenes with, sorry. So we created these little scenes with his little Pokemons, and we took pictures of them, and, like, you know, we made it seem like they were bigger than they were, and like they were out in the wild and stuff. And I used my camera and I let him use a Polaroid that I got for him, and we just took pictures, and it was that simple, you know. But I feel like I feel like we were able to connect more, and I was grateful that we were able to kind of combine two different hobbies, and have fun. And I just couldn't stop thinking of how when when I was younger, I wanted to have an older brother that could do those things for me. You know, somebody that I could connect with in that way, and somebody that could teach me something new. And I was just glad that I could find something that I could connect uh, with my little brother, because, like, you know, I'm a whole decade. I'm a whole decade older than him. I'm a whole decade older than him, and it's hard for us to find things that we share in common. And I try my hardest to try to find things to do that are fun, things that we have in common. And it's just kind of difficult because, you know, I'm older and we like different things. And it was just really fun to do that. And the fact that it was, you know, photography, I have the pictures still. And no matter what happens, I will always have a copy of those. So even if, let's say, I were to forget everything that I remember, those pictures will still be there. And he will be able to explain it to me that we took those together and how much fun we had. And I haven't gone around to it, but I want to print out some of those pictures that we took and put them on the wall in my room because it just reminds me of some of the best times that I've had with him, and it makes me feel fulfilled. Like I've done something that's worthwhile, something useful, and I made someone happy. And I would like to continue doing, photography just in general so that I could capture moments for people and, capture memories for them so that they never forget. Because I personally know how important those moments are, and it would just feel so gratifying, and it would make me feel like I'm actually doing something if if I were able to capture those moments for people so that they could share it with their friends and family. And I think that's what I want to do with my life. But I've been stuck trying to please other people, and I haven't really thought about, you know, what I wanted for myself. I've kind of sidelined myself, and I think it's about time that I change something, and that I start doing the things that I enjoy. And I feel like I have a good chance of making this work. And if I can make it work, then I'll just be happy, and that's all I want. That's all I want in life. I want to be able to be happy. And I feel like I'm getting so close to finding my actual purpose in life. And I've been so lost for such a long time. And I feel like this is an opportunity that I should take advantage of. And I'm going to take advantage of it. And I'm going to talk to people that are into photography. And I know that it's an expensive hobby, but I'm going to do the best that I can with what I have. It's what I've always done. I've never been the smartest, and I've never been, like, the most popular or the most good looking or, like, anything. I've always been average or below average in everything. And I just do the best with what I have. And I honestly just fake it till I make it. But with this, I feel like it's something that I can actually do, something that I can actually achieve, that I can actually work towards and have fun and have it be challenging. Something that gives me a sense of happiness and pleasure. And I've decided that that's what I want to do. If I could do something for the rest of my life, it would be that. So I'm going to try to make this work. And this is where you guys come in. If you guys follow me on YouTube, I do upload the podcast there. and it used to be in video format with just a static image in the background and the audio playing. But now my episodes get taken directly from my feed and uploaded to YouTube automatically. So I have a playlist for the podcast, but I plan on sharing bits and pieces of my life and my journey writing and doing photography on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram and threads for this channel, for this podcast. So I don't know when I'll start uploading, but I'm going to say it here right now that I will upload my journey onto YouTube because I feel like it would be good to document my progress, and it would also serve as practice because I'd have to film these things, and that would be great practice to put it out there for people to see, put pictures on my Instagram and on my threads account and have people give me feedback, to be able to take videos and shape scenes and, like, structure, like, narratives and stuff, and be able to upload it and have people tell me what they think of it and what they think I could do better. And I'll listen to all of that because I do want to get better, and I want to make it something that I can make, you know, a more permanent part of my life. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see where it all goes. But I'm going to leave the episode here, and I guess you guys are just going to have to wait and see my progress and what I have in store. And I'm just going to ask again that you guys please share this with anybody that you know. And again, if you know people that are struggling, offer a hand and try to help them out because it's hard to do things alone.